Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin this evening, I got to read the content warning. EDP 365 covers topics with explicit and strong language, and is intended for mature audiences only. Topics may be sensitive to some, and everyday people may not agree with the views expressed during this discussion. But please keep in mind, we give you the point of view of everyday people and everyday situations. Everyday people with everyday situations. EDP 365 is not afraid to go there.
And we're not, y'all. We are not afraid to go there. All right, so Happy New Year. This is our first show for 2020, so we're excited to be back. We took a little break. That's what we do at the end of the year. So again, Happy New Year. Did you say and we are everyday people?
Yes.
And we are everyday people. 365. All right, so before we get on into the show, get our wine and things, we're going to introduce our guests. We're going to do things just a tad bit different. So we're going to introduce our guest, Miss Apple Brown Betty.
Everybody put your hands together.
The Drunk Auntie. She is the host of the Drunk Auntie podcast, baby. I'm drunk. I ain't even had anything to drink yet.
I like to come on the podcast.
But Apple Brown Betty was on the show back in November, and we had some technical difficulties. We had some technical difficulties, and so we really didn't get to talk a lot. And then we did like a brief, show the next day. But again, we didn't get to capture everything, and so we wanted to make sure that we bring her back tonight, which is great because January is our Female Entrepreneurs Month, so that's great. So Miss Apple Brown Betty is here with us to kick that off. But before we just dive into everything that she does, we're gonna get her to say hey. Hey. We're gonna get her to say hey. We're gonna do some other things that we normally do on the show, and then we just gonna get all up in her business, all up in her stuff.
I'm gonna grab my phone so I can share this live video and make sure everybody can see your lovely faces.
Thank you. All right, so if you're looking, share the video, share it with your friends, do a watch party, what have you. We want lots of people looking this year. We want more people to check out what we're doing. Because EDP 365 was created initially as a platform for other people to talk about what they do, all that great stuff. And so it looks like I'm the only one that hasn't had a drink for tonight.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is introduce what we're having. So.
All right, ladies, you want to go first with your wine?
Me?
The volume.
That's not is that my phone?
No, it ain't.
It's not. I was like, I couldn't even find it.
Is that you, Chris?
That was a really good mom face, though. You was giving me all kind of eyes like,
No, that was not me.
Well, anyway, we don't know what was going on here. Maybe there's somebody else here we don't know about. But this is what we're drinking tonight. So we have Dublin Pelican Red. This is a sweet muscadine wine. And so
Nice.
you all had a sip, right?
Not yet. I was waiting for you.
Okay. So nobody's had a sip. Cool.
Right.
So we're all going to taste our wine.
And we're going to sip, and we're going to give you our thoughts about what we're sipping. You know what? I fuck with it.
Oh my gosh.
It's very good. Very good. Duckling, you get a thumbs up from me.
This is good. This is great. What are your thoughts?
It tastes like it'll get me faded. It's palatable, but not in the cheap, accessible way, if that makes sense. I don't use words like oaky and shit like that. It tastes like, you spend more than $5 and I'm going to get faded.
Well, yeah, I did. I spent more than $5. They have really great wines, so if you're into wines, you can go and get Dublin. They have this at Food Line. They have it at Walmart. I'm sure they have it somewhere in the wine store, but they have like the best wines, and I'm a sweet wine drinker, and so normally I can't go wrong with this, and so This is really great.
It is good. It tastes nice and fruity. I like when wine tastes like actual grapes.
So good, right?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Okay, so on to the next. So this is Chris's addition to tonight's alcohol tasting, spirits tasting, beverage tasting, and so this is what is this? Jose Cuervo.
Swervo.
And this is orange pineapple margarita. So we're gonna taste that, see if we like it.
Absolutely.
I've had 2 glasses. I like it.
It's very tasty. Very
It
good.
is tasty.
Okay.
It's a very tasty margarita drink.
Citrus.
Tastes cool, lady. But it's okay.
Very citrusy.
That may be because we have mix.
Now,
I think that's what that
Really?
is.
I think this is one of them drinks that's so good that you'll sip on it and sip your way to sleep.
It creep up on you.
Creep up on you.
Yeah, it looks like orange high C. It's like when you have cleaning products that look like juice and you gotta keep them away from the kids. It's like it looks like high C, but it'll get you fast. So I'm a fan.
Cleaning products like Mountain Dew.
Oh my god. So yeah, this was good. I enjoyed both.
So this is the orange pineapple margarita by Jose Cuervo Tequila. Right.
But I'm enjoying
And
this
guess what?
one.
And for people who can't drink, don't have a high tolerance, it's 9.95% alcohol by volume. So it's safe for doing the nighttime of the evening, but you may need to switch to something else during the later part of the evening.
Or just mix something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
But put an extra shot in it.
Yeah, that's all.
So y'all know I can't really see the screen over there, but I do see that some people have
And you can comment.
oh wow. Some people are looking and they said hello. So hey,
So I did respond.
Hey y'all. So Chris responded. So here we go. So like I said, back in November, Miss Apple Brown Betty was on the show and she was actually promoting her event that me and my mom were able to go to. Thank you so much for that. We greatly appreciate it. My mother loved you.
I loved her.
My God. She loved you. And so we get there to the event and you did such an amazing job.
Thank you.
You did such a great job.
Thank you.
But I like the event because it talked about being a woman, exploring your sexuality, being comfortable, giving tips, and all that great stuff. So let's start there because, and I had this from the last show. The series of workshops, we had workshops, you all, fellatio fun, masturbation magic, BDSM for beginners, interactive twerk, and the goal, you all, give it to the camera, give it to the camera. Don't start now, you can't finish. Alright, so the goal of the event, you all, was to empower women, leaders, nurturers, teachers, therapists, chefs, and chauffeurs. Correct.
All the above.
Alright, so let's talk. Let's get into it as I sip on my wine.
Okay, well, alright, so the idea for the Black Cat Conference first came about kind of as a joke. I have a girlfriend, shout out to Keisha Roberts, homie from high school, and Keisha came to me one day and she had gone to a paint and sip. And apparently it was a little on the low rent side, you know. And her business mind was like, these people are paying $35 for nothing. You know, she said they gave them like little baby paper plates with a little dab of paint on it, and told them when it's gone, it's gone. So I don't know if people left like half finished pictures or whatever. And then it was supposed to be like male models they were painting or whatever. It was just a lot going on, and so she's like, hey, we can do better than that. And so she came to me because she thought that I'd be a good partner in that, and I appreciated that. But at the time, I just felt like the paint and sip market was so oversaturated.
Right.
There's a paint and sip every weekend in this city.
Right.
So I just didn't want to do another paint and sip. So we tried to develop a different idea, and we started looking at venues, and I had one that was available to me. A friend of mine owns Lamplighter Roasting Company. You may have heard of that coffee shop. Shout out to Noelle Whitney, my homegirl from way back. And she offered us her event space. And it was a small space, intimate. So I was trying to think of something we could do in a small space, but still charge a pretty penny for as far as the ticket goes. And we're running out of ideas. So as a joke, I said, I should teach a dick sucking class, right? So we laughed. And then the laughter died down, and we was like, wait a minute, we should try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the idea was born. And we kind of fleshed it out a little bit from just the fellatio to other areas of like sexual and, you know, sensual empowerment for
Right.
women.
Okay.
So that's where it all stemmed from. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did this come
Some
about?
classes.
Oh my God. What the hell? Did it come about because you took some sex classes back in college? You just like doing certain things? I mean, how did it all come
What
about?
makes me, well, why am I the dick sucking expert? Is that what
Yes,
I'm at?
yes, the whole thing,
Well,
thing.
I don't consider myself to be like an expert. I will say that niggas don't leave me alone. You know what I mean? We can say that. But I don't ever want to come across like, hey, woman who's lesser than me, let me teach you and elevate you. That's not what I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Tips.
But you know, at the
Add on to the
event,
experience.
right?
Tips, but it really was more about empowerment because when it comes to fellatio and sex period, black women don't enjoy the same freedoms that other women enjoy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was coming up, the very worst thing somebody could say to you is your mama sucked dick. That was the ultimate insult.
Really? Because I think
No, she
you're a lot younger than both of us, I think.
Am I?
But
I'm 30. I be 39.
that was an insult.
It was a huge insult.
But you know, and I thought by your generation,
No.
it had changed. I know
No.
definitely in mine, because we're like 10 years apart.
Mhm.
But I thought by the time, you know, at your age, that it was a little bit more acceptable than it was, let's say,
For when you were
we
teenagers.
young.
No, it was still the ultimate insult. They were still fighting words. Black women are forced into this space where we are sexually inhibited because we're groomed to believe, you know, that's nasty girl stuff. And I have 3 daughters, and I have to keep mindful not to tell my daughters leading sentences with, well, don't no man want a woman who, you know. So that's where the brainwashing comes from. So when you talk about fellatio, white women are praised for it, lauded for it, they even call it Becky. But when it comes to black women, that's some whole shit, that's nasty, you know. So we're inhibited in that way, and then black men attack us for being sexually inhibited. When if y'all didn't talk so bad about us, you might get your dick sucked. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's a weird position to be in, but it was still very taboo. And when I talk to women, just real women that I know about fellatio, the number one thing they say, you know, I don't like it. And when I asked why you don't like it, the answer every single time was because of how they were made to feel about it. Nobody ever said, well, I don't like how I feel when I'm gagging. I don't like when his dick hit my gums. I don't like. Nobody had any problem with the actual act. It was the psychology that they had been indoctrinated with all the lies. So I sought to remove that barrier.
That negative connotation.
Definitely.
Be gone.
Yes.
So do you have those conversations with your daughters?
No. I have teen girls.
Oh, they're teen.
Yeah, they're teen. They're not.
They're not ready for that.
Not ready.
Okay.
But when they ready, they know their mama know. You know.
Because one of your daughters was there, right?
She was there as a vendor.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you very
pretty.
much. She is an adult. She'll be 20 this year, and she was there as a vendor. Shout out to Plush Playhouse Hair and Accessories. And she was there studying. My daughter makes wigs. She graduated high school with her cosmetology license. She does. She makes wigs. She works at Fantastic Sam's. She's a licensed cosmetologist. She works 2 jobs and is still building her business. So she was there, you know, on her business thing that day.
Okay.
But to that end, I don't typically talk about like my daughters and sexuality together like in these spaces. But I do believe in good information.
Okay.
I do believe that the game don't change, just the players do. I think that
Okay.
the worst thing you can do is let your children believe that you don't know nothing about nothing. Because that's what I grew up. I thought my mama didn't know anything about anything. Had I known that I could go to my mother with, you know, certain issues and topics, you know, it would have saved me a lot of trouble.
Right.
Okay, so I can't remember this per se at your event. I do remember the fellatio because you had the cucumbers and my mom's got a cucumber in her hand. Like, oh,
Hey, Mom, what you doing with that?
put that damn thing down. So what was, and I know because we have a whole lot to talk about, so we don't have to stay on this topic long. What was the focus, or what did you talk about? What did you highlight when it came to masturbation magic?
Well, masturbation magic, I take a drink every time you hear me say empowerment, because it's going to be like the word I run into the ground tonight. But it's a recurring thing for a reason. So And I've done this event twice. The first time I did the event, Masturbation Magic was its own module. It was its own thing. And it was very interactive. It was very Q&A. And people started asking me questions. And it made me realize I can only tell you how I make myself have an orgasm. You know, because masturbation is a very personal thing. So the second time around, I wanted to shift the conversation to just removing the stigma and the empowerment. Because that's another double standard that exists for men and for women. You know, men are expected to masturbate. It's normal. We have all kinds of jokes about teenage boys and, you know, cum socks and, you know, all things like that. And but for women, it's seen as, okay, well, you have to do it. It's desperate. Nobody wants you. You can't get a man. You know what I mean? Well, in actuality, masturbation is something that you do for yourself, whether you're in a relationship or not. You can do it with your partner, you know, but it's all about you being comfortable and getting to know your body so you can communicate your needs to your partner. Because that's where bad sex comes from. It's poor communication. Knowing your body and communication. Yes, ma'am.
So when you talked about that, did you discuss anything about it's in the Bible and you're not supposed to masturbate and things like that? Did you touch on that any?
No. The only time, well, full disclosure, I'm not a religious person. I was raised a Christian. I actually taught Sunday school as a child. Like I was a Jesus freak phenom. Okay. I tend to steer clear of that because when you bring religion into things, it's very personal for people.
Okay.
And I never want to be associated with someone's ill feelings about, you know, the religion aspect of it. But I have heard that.
Okay.
I've never seen it. You know, but I have heard, you know, people say, you know, talk about the biblical aspect. But the part that I did touch on as far as religion goes is that you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose whether I'm going to be a child of God or a sexually satisfied woman.
Okay.
God created men. God created women. God created genitals. God created sex. You know, they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Okay.
And that, you know, that's a good thing too. A good point that you both brought up. But one of the things too is that, again, when you throw religion in the mix of something that we naturally do. A lot of people get messed up in the head, get emotionally messed up, and you know, only certain things can occur at specific certain times because of this, or it's not going to happen at all. And I think that we are depriving ourselves of fulfillment, enjoyment.
Definitely. And what I mean, well, I know I was so enamored with Bible stories as a child. It really is the greatest story ever told. And even though my childish mind didn't grasp the scope of it, I very well understood the story of Samson and how sex permeates it. You know, so if it was good enough for Samson, you know what I mean? It's right there. You know, the language is different, the time is different, the context is different, but there is no more natural act than sex. The way that a man and a woman's body fit together, that yin and yang, that given, there's nothing more immaculate than that in my point of
view. Before we go into the next subject,
Eleanor said,
Eleanor said, she said, and man created toys.
Eleanor's back.
Hi, Eleanor, you need to follow me here.
She will. Trust me, she will.
So
she's good with that.
We did have a bedroom candy vendor on site, and I am a huge proponent of, like we say, learning your body and what you like. And you know, toys can be a big part of that. They're an extension. On my own show, I talked to a gentleman who had some aversions to, you know, toy play with him and his wife because the masculinity issue is there. But you know, if you have the mindset of control, which, you know, men feed off control, you know, it's a gift. I'm giving you this feeling. I'm gifting you this experience. And this toy is an extension of me, you know, because I'm a person that's a cause and effect person. I'm going to get the effect that I want out of people. So if that toy is going to get you the effect that you want, you know, out of your wife, you know, go for it.
Why not?
Why not?
So, okay, I'm so excited to have you here on the couch because you talked about that, and I thank you so much for following through.
Why not me?
So we just jumped right into everything we talked about when you were going to be on the show before the event that you were promoting. So to our viewers who don't know you, who may not be familiar with you, tell them about yourself. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them about Apple Brown Betty. Tell them about the Drunk Auntie podcast. Everything about you, the government, everything about you, how they can follow you. That doesn't mean it's the end, but I want you to tell everybody, because I just jumped right into where we left off.
I'm a jumper-inner. It's all
Go ahead. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. Okay. All right. So my name is Apple Brown Betty. I am a regular bitch. Okay. I've lived in Richmond all my life. I know a lot of people here. I actually thrive on making connections with people. Joined Facebook in 2011. I had about maybe 600, 700 friends. But since I've lived here all my life, that's not really hard to do. You know, people you know and kind of know.
Right.
And people kind of took to me. You know, I'm pleasant. I'm fun. You know. So different ventures started to grow from my Facebook page just because people's confidence in me was greater than my own. They pushed me to do more things. So the Facebook page grew into the Drunk Auntie podcast, which launched this past September on LegacyInternetRadio.com. And I'm really proud of that. It's still new. We're still kind of finding our voice, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's an opportunity for me to be myself, unfiltered, and I do enjoy that. And it allows me to interact with my Facebook friends in a different way because they can call in, they can suggest topics. I think that, especially because of my event, I kind of get pigeonholed into the sex stuff, but that's not all we do. You know, we talk about throw them balls. We talk about everything. We just don't shy away from sex. Okay. So because we don't, and a lot of people do, that's what a lot of my followers tend to like harp on. You know, because it's a safe space.
Because that happens with us. Like, we have different guests on the show. We have different topics, but our numbers go higher when we have Kay on the show, who is our sex expert to the show, or when we're just talking about a sex topic. That's when I find that the numbers start to escalate. Here.
And I think that I had to kind of get out of my own head with that a little bit because I don't want to be known as that girl. Right. Like for instance with the event, I actually hired a sex educator from the DMV area to come, and she was booked. Turns out she had a scheduling conflict she couldn't get out of. She couldn't come. And I just felt like that was God, the universe, whatever, pushing me to do it myself. Because, like, back to that whole confidence of the people around me. Like, people like you. They're coming to see you. They're coming to hear you. You know what I mean? So, I had to get over that. It's like either you're going to do it or you're not. Right. You're scared or you're not. So, I can't, half-ass. If you're scared, say it. And I was scared. You know what I'm saying? Because things, the climate we live in with social media and the internet, things take on a life of their own. I didn't want to put I have a real job. I have kids, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to kind of navigate that. Yeah. But I decided to just do me, man. You know what I mean? Because that's what people, tune into me for. I went through another one of my topics for the night was profanity problems. So I've gone through several stages where I was like, well, maybe I want to be more accessible to people. Maybe I shouldn't curse so much. Maybe it shouldn't be all dicks all the time. But you know what happens when I do that? Yeah. Because that's not what people follow me for. So if I have to be the dick mistress of Richmond, then by golly, I'm gonna be the dick mistress of Richmond.
But you know what I found, and Chris can attest to this. This was several years ago. This is when we had 4 people who were on the couch, so to speak. I said, y'all, I said it's better to have quality than it is quantity.
Definitely.
I said I want us to put out a good show. I said if we got 1,000 viewers and that show is garbage, we're gonna lose them. Yeah. But if we have good content and we've got 10 people who are watching it, they're going to tell another 10 people, and they're going to tell another 10 people. But those same 10 people are going to watch next week, and they're going to watch the following week. So I think it's finding the balance, but then also figuring out what's most important. And of course I want people to look, I want the viewers to be here, but the thing is, are we delivering something that's worth watching?
Because you can't do everything at once, and that's what I'm learning. I don't know if y'all follow Ryan Leslie. You know who Ryan Leslie is, the producer. But he has this business model, you know, I was paying attention to. He has a company, I think it's called Megaphone. It's like a subscription text message service or something. But I forget the steps, and I don't want to lie on him. But whatever he did some phenomenal shit in a year. When I said Ryan Leslie, nobody was like, hey, yeah, Ryan Leslie. You know Ryan Leslie. He had that one song, Diamond Girl, and the Addiction, right?
Addiction,
but that's a song, it's a banger. But Ryan Leslie figured out that he doesn't want to take his time and his money trying to convince people to fuck with him. The people who buy his stuff, he markets to them. You know what I mean? So if I cater to the people who already fuck with me, you know, that's something I'm really recently learning, because even in the course of doing my event, like the events are tiresome. Events take a lot of time. They take a lot of networking. I'm not a person who likes to be in the street a lot, you know, so like it just didn't really line up with my personality. So it took a lot of effort to do it, you know. But the reality is, I want to not so much chase people, you know, and chase the marketing aspect. I want to build meaningful connections with people, because they go further, because that means more. After my first Black Cat conference, I had a sex abuse survivor tell me how much it helped her. You know, I had married women inboxing me like, "Girl, my husband loved it." You know, that means something to me. You know, so if I have an event and it's 5 people there who have a great time, I ain't worried about who didn't come.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because those, like you said, those 5 people, you know, gonna say, you know, yo, she wanted something.
Yeah. And then you start to look at it from a different perspective. And you look at it from a different perspective. You know, when I partnered with a young lady named Katina Brake, and we had a conference back in August, and you know, again, I know about that stress. I know about putting that together. Okay, it's not enough tickets being sold. Okay, now we got enough tickets. But the thing is, and with everything I do, my thing now is whoever's supposed to be in the room,
they're gonna be there.
Is gonna be there. So if I'm looking for 100, but only 20 show up, that's who God wanted in the room. That's who was supposed to be in the room. Not that 100 people who are going to sit and be negative or talk about the event or not really be involved in it. But those 20 people who really enjoyed it, who are going to compliment it, give me
That's
some,
how I got here.
Right.
That's how I got here.
Exactly.
I didn't know you. Somebody put us together. Tracy said, "Hey, Leslie, I want you to have this girl on your show." And you were gracious enough to let me come, and I appreciate that. But then you came to my event and you met me. It's like, "Hey, you know, this is all right." And then you invited me here. And that's a meaningful connection.
Right.
That means so much more. Like, people talk a lot about, I always talk about Richmond's support sickness. Everybody always talk about, no support, you don't support. Look, I can't come to everybody's shit all the time.
Right.
I just can't. Okay, I'm not. All right, and I let my kids look at me some days and, you know, remember what I look like and stuff. But the reality is, when it comes to support, it might not always look the way you want it to look.
Exactly.
You know, because it ain't gonna look like you want it to look. Because I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I ain't coming to your shit, fam. But if you call me and say, "Hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do that," I will use all my resources. I will give you my time. I will set up. I will clean up. I will share your shit. I don't necessarily have to be there because you know what I mean? Because you want my body in the seat.
Right.
So I think we have to be careful not to do a disservice to the people who do show up for us.
Right.
You know, like you were saying.
And you know, even with that, sometimes supporting is, "Oh, damn, your event coming up? All right, hold on, I'm going to post it on my groups. Oh, your event is coming up? We're going to talk about it on the show." It comes in different forms.
Sometimes support is me not saying shit because your shit is raggedy. Or I know something about you. You know, sometimes my support be like, "Oh, you going to so-and-so?" Sometimes that's what my support looks like. Keeping my opinion to myself because I don't want to give you no black eye. Because I might have had an experience with you on this day when you having a bad day or I'm having a bad day.
Right.
That I don't want to give a black eye to you for the next person. You know, because I want everybody to eat, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
You want everybody to experience the garbage on their own.
yeah.
And then it's not because of the black, because you didn't swing on them. You didn't do that at all. You know, you let them fall and bust that ass.
Yeah.
And, you know, feel that experience on their own. But I think the other thing with that, too, is the fact that you have, when you throw punches at somebody else, there's always somebody looking in the background to throw punches at you.
You open yourself up to it.
So you open yourself up to not only you being you throwing the mud, you smearing. Now somebody's gonna come back and smear you as well at some point. So, you keep that energy somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't want to engage that way. I don't want to use my energy that way. I don't want to use my brain power that way.
Liz, I gotta share this with you real quick.
What's that?
Eleanor says, she said earlier when y'all was talking about some stuff, she said, yeah, I watch it because we found out how much free Liz is.
Okay.
I just engage in conversation, Eleanor. You done said a few things on the show that you've revealed about yourself, ma'am.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're gonna let them freak flags fly.
Eleanor is our ACA. She's our honorary co-host. She's been with the show since we started. So she's dope. Like
shout out to
all the
Eleanor.
time. Yes, we love Eleanor.
Ashley and a few other people. But if anybody would like to ask Apple Brown Betty any questions or anything, put them in the box, and I'm going to hand her my phone, and so she can respond, and she can also tell you live as well. So.
Oh, I can see myself. This is nice. The scenery is nice. This is a really nice house, by the way.
Thank you.
Y'all just got shit everywhere that you don't need. There's a hexagon. There's a hexagon on the wall. I ain't been in geometry since 10th grade, open high school. Just mad trapezoids and shit for no reason. I'll decorate my own home one day. The paint's holding together right now. But if you got a question for your girl, any kind of question about me or my businesses or the sucking of the dick, whatever, just hit me up and we can talk about it.
Well, while you're there, can you type in your information? Can you plug that in really, really quickly so people can follow you? Because I know Eleanor is going to follow you. She's really big on supporting people.
If you get me to the point where I can type, because I don't want to, I break things and I mess things up, so I don't want to hit the wrong thing.
And we don't want you hitting the wrong thing and you seeing some pictures you don't need to be seeing.
Because I'm going to critique them like, you need a better light.
No filter.
No filter at all. Mm-hmm. But the event's a lot of fun. I'm actually looking to expand it this spring. Mm-hmm. So where the sex portion is a portion of it. Mm-hmm. And the goal of these events is to make every woman as well-rounded as I am. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was blessed to just have a lot of know-how in a lot of different areas. And I think that we're coming back to a time where, well, not back, but I think we're coming into a time where we are able to define our femininity for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So whatever that means, little dick sucking, little weapons training, little car care, little resource building network kind of thing, parenting. Mm-hmm. Everything that a woman faces, during the course of a day, week, month of her life. We want to be able to bolster her in those areas. So that's what we try to do with these events. Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Well, we'll support you in any way that we can.
Well,
thank you. I feel mad supported right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is what we do. This is what we do here on EDP 365 Facebook Live. That's what we do.
All right, so I just gave y'all my Facebook information. It's my actual government name. Y'all can know my government name. It's cool because I want you to get the good stuff. That's another thing that was on my list. My fighting with Facebook.
Let's go with it.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I recently had some opportunities. Namely one to write for a blog. Okay. And the young lady asked me for a sample, and I was like, well, okay, but I'm about to lose her because once people see, I curse and I'm a little vulgar, sometimes it turns people off. Mm-hmm. So when she responded, she said, okay, well, this looks good. Can you tone it down? Is all your stuff explicit? I'm like, no, I don't have to be explicit. And I gave her some content that was accessible for her, platform. But it begs the question, who decides what's offensive? Mm-hmm. Why is profanity up here as far as what's offensive speech-wise? Because, and don't get me wrong, in mixed company, you might want to watch, know who you're talking to. Because some people are really offended by profanity and vulgarity. But I'm offended by shit every day that people say to me. And just because you're not cursing, for real, just because you're not cursing doesn't make it more tolerable. Right. So I think that certain people, certain groups of people just don't see it. And I always have to give the analogy of white people and white privilege for people to understand where I'm coming from. Like, case in point, I don't like being called sexy by people I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. If you just say it in passing and I post a picture, oh, hey, sexy, I'm not going to say I'm not going to, go off on the whole diatribe about it. Online is one thing. Online, you can't see me, you can't touch me. But if I'm minding my business in the store, I'm pumping my gas, and you walk up 12 inches from me, yeah, what up, sexy? It's a different vibe. It's a different, because you can touch me.
Especially in this day and age.
Especially in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
So the analogy I always give is, well, if I say I'm hungry, that means I want to eat. If you say I'm sexy, that means you thinking about fucking me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something you say to people you don't know. You know what I mean? If we're already dated, if we're already acquainted, then that's one thing. But I don't like to be called sexy by people I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I tell people this, I've only had one man, kind of get indignant about it. Typically they're like, oh, okay, well, I never thought about it that way. And I appreciate that. But, sometimes men do get indignant about it and feel I should just take the compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Even whether I think it's a compliment or not, that's very offensive.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me
right.
what I'm offended by. The same way somebody white can't tell you, well, that wasn't racist, because that's not what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you give.
Right.
You can get the middle.
So how many times have I been told, you're cute for a dark-skinned girl?
Oh.
That's offensive
That's
to
offensive.
me,
Mm-hmm.
or you're very articulate.
Mm-hmm.
That's offensive to me.
Well, I can talk,
Right. We speak English.
Right.
How do I talk so well? Bitch, I speak English. It's my first language, it's my only language, So it upsets me that if people hear me curse, it's grounds for dismissal with a lot of people. You're gonna judge me. You're gonna.
Right.
For instance, I was in Family Dollar. Shout out to Family Dollar on Hall Street. I was in Family Dollar last week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a woman in there with 2 young kids. And young kids is about worrisome as fuck. You ever had the young kids before?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
oh.
Worrisome as hell. And she's loud. And she's not like loud, in a bad way. She just has a big voice, so everybody can hear everything she's saying. Her child. She never used a curse word, but she called him several names.
Mm.
I curse when I talk to my kids all the time. I don't curse at them. You know what I mean? But I'm like, girl, tell me what the hell happened. No, they ain't talking about. My kids have always heard me use profanity. They have never heard me berate them.
Mm-hmm.
They have never heard me. I think there are far worse things you can do to use a curse word.
Absolutely.
Or another example, because we live in a Christian country, we live in the South. Most people are Christian. Not everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not such an asshole that's gonna say, "Well, I ain't a Christian." If you tell me God bless you, thank you. I'm gonna take that blessing. That's the best well wish you could give me.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody said they're gonna pray for me. That's the very best you could do for me. You're gonna pray to your God for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But because people come in a religious context,
Mm-hmm.
they don't see that their behavior is a little oppressive
Mm-hmm.
to people who aren't Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you encounter a Muslim, it's like, oh well, the Holy Quran says. You don't want to hear that shit. But people who Christian out all day long, what the Bible say, if you argue about anything online, homosexuality or a woman's role in the home, what the Bible say, not everybody subscribes to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's arrogant of you to assume that your viewpoint should be applied to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about with profanity. Yes, I use profanity. I've gone through a couple of growing pains and trying to tone it down. I want to be more marketable. I want to be more accessible. But every time I try to clean up my act, the people who really fuck with me be like, that's not what we fuck with you for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They can go anywhere.
You gotta be you.
I have to be me. I have to be me.
Here's the thing. I don't curse. I use sentence enhancers. I don't curse. I use sentence enhancers.
Make them colorful, right? You sprinkle that in there. Try.
Expletives.
Yeah.
Sentence enhancers instead of
Cursing.
Exclamations.
And the other exclamation. The other part that upsets me is that the first thing people say is, that's the sign of not being intelligent. You can't find words to say. Bitch, I got a 690 on my verbal SAT. Okay, I put a lot of big pretty words in between my cuss words. You know what I'm saying? So that's not. But studies show people who swear are typically smarter because we're frustrated with the rest of the fuck of you.
Tara mentioned something. This is funny too. She says some people quoting the Bible don't necessarily live by it. They be in your face with it, judging you.
Right.
Behind closed doors, behind the scenes, they are the worst.
Let me tell you something I learned about the Bible. Anybody can use it to prove their point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what your religion is, how old you are, where you from. Anybody can pick up a Bible and say what the Bible says, and they can illustrate their point. Because that's what the Bible's for. The Bible, it's a tool, it's a resource that explains, that enlightens, that gives credence to the things that we experience as humans. So anybody can use it to prove their point.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you some shit in Job to help make you feel better about the situation, and then show you some shit in Revelation that make you feel a whole lot worse. You know what I'm saying? So anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but thanks to who made that comment?
Tara.
Thank you, Tara. Go on.
Shout out.
Yes.
And again, this is real. That's why it's like I don't judge people. I lay back because I have to meet you where you are.
Right.
And if I can't meet you where you are, you can't meet me where I am. Then there's no point in us even talking to me. Because I'm trying to get to know and understand you for who you are, and that way, we can connect and build better because we know each other a little better.
Definitely.
And you know what? We have to learn to look at our own shit. We have to learn to look at our own shit. I thought about this a couple of days ago. How people are so quick to say, "Well, you're this or you're that." Well, I need you to focus on what you do.
But nobody wants to do that. Who's going to do that? Who wants to look at themselves? That's no fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's always easier to pick apart somebody else's stuff. You know what I mean? So we just have to come to a place where we know who we are, because a lot of us don't. I'm one of them. I got married very young. I had kids very young. I've just always been a mom. And now my kids are older, so I'm kind of figuring out who I am. You have to know who you are. You have to know what's important to you, and you have to name your price up front. I'm very big on that.
Expound on name your price up front.
Name your price up front. There are going to be some things that you're cool with. There are going to be some things that you ain't never going to get jiggy with. And there are going to be some things you can say, yeah, well, I could see, maybe I could try, maybe I could be in. So prime example, relationships. You ain't never going to be able to hit me, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? If you was to slip and fall in some pussy, we might get through it. You know what I'm saying? You have to name your price up front. So it happens.
What was that move, Chris?
I said,
because he fell backward and thrust forward. I'm confused. But I think you get my point there.
yes.
You have to know, like this is why people go crazy and like shoot people when they cheat and stuff. You have to already know what you're gonna tolerate, what you ain't gonna tolerate, what's your game plan gonna be. I don't have a husband these days, but had I one, it's not gonna be no Angela Bassett setting the confidence. I already know what I'm gonna do if my nigga cheat on me.
Let me throw this in there, and this is something too. As women, and probably men too, but I'm just gonna say as women. As women,
Look at me, I look cute.
there's. Oh, you stop.
Sorry, go on.
As women, we need to stop complaining, and looking through. Well, I don't got time to be looking through nobody's shit but my own. But looking through his shit, looking through his phone.
That's crazy.
You find out that he cheats,
What you gonna do?
you stay anyway. So if you're doing all that investigating,
Let that man cheat in peace.
if you're gonna do all the investigating, make sure there's some action behind it. But if you're just gonna keep tolerating that shit, fall back. Let him do what he's gonna do.
Let me give
and the men too, because men do the same thing. They do the same thing. They're looking through the phone. I followed you today. Orange Juice Jones shit.
I'm gonna tell you what men do more though, because
What?
women. I think that's more of a female thing. The whole reading the phone like it's a newspaper.
No, it's men too.
I know men do it.
It's
but
lots of them.
I know a lot of men, and what they get on my nerves with, like their fuck shit, is they always pick these bum bitches
Right.
and try to elevate them, right?
They not ready.
You can't, a bitch you can't do nothing with, but then you want to come complain to me, a solid motherfucker, about a solid motherfucker about the bum bitch you got at home. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I got to see one more time. You a what?
Solid mom. You remember when Money Mike was like the leader hold of water, can't make a thing? If I had a dollar. Okay, I know a lot of guys, right? And okay, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing or just a thing. But oftentimes, I'll meet guys and there might be a romantic interest, but we end up just doing business together. And we become friends, you know what I'm saying? And they want to cry to me about this bitch and cry to this bitch ain't shit, this bitch raggedy. And I can be sitting there like, because this is what you pursued. You know what I'm saying? This is what you said. Well, I like that. And she showed you who she was, the same way men, dog us out for, you should choose better and stuff. They always trying to put these bum bitches on a pedestal, but she's just a bum bitch. No matter what clothes you buy her, no matter what bills you pay for her. Right. But then niggas will meet a bitch like me.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there because we have a wide range of viewers. Explain what a bum bitch is for people who don't know what that means.
Okay, a bum is up here, right? Okay, on the surface, to me, a bum bitch is somebody who doesn't have an income. I just don't understand how people don't work. Women, men, donkeys. I don't understand how anybody doesn't work. I just can't reconcile that up here. Okay. Right. Then even if you do work, a bum bitch is some shit like you just never want nothing for yourself. You your shit is raggedy. You content with it being raggedy, and then you have the audacity to spend your time doing bum shit. You know what I'm saying?
Doing bum shit with a bum bitch.
I simply shan't ever understand it. So that, to me, okay, I fuck with niggas just be about something. You know what I'm saying? But then they got these women. Okay, where she work at? Okay, and I'm not trying to knock nobody's job, but if you got, it don't matter where you work. It's about your work ethic. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If you on time every day, you handle your shit. Everybody can count on you. You have a plan for the next step, or at least be teachable. Get you somebody who have the mindset that you can elevate. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you meet me and I work at Walgreens and I'm paying all my bills at Walgreens, and you come and say, hey, look, Brown Betty, I got this opportunity for you. If I'm the type bitch to be like, well, no, bitch, I got a job. I make $8. You know what I'm saying? That's some bum bitch.
Wait a minute, hold up. The show is over because bitch, I make $8.
Look, but if somebody came to you and trying to put some more money in your pocket, but here's a bum bitch. Let me tell you something. Here's what a bum bitch is.
She need to get off the show.
let me tell you what a bum bitch is. A bum bitch gonna take that $8 and ask a nigga for some money, right? When a nigga's trying to say no, but let me tell you what to do with that $8. We can grow it into $12. You can give me the extra $4. We can flip it. You know, he got a plan. You know, he's trying to bring you in. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, nah, but I just want to spend your money. That's a bum bitch. You know, because it's one thing for a man to give me money. I prefer a man to make me money. Because you can't take that from me. When I meet a nigga, I want to know what you do, how you make your money. Because I might can do the same shit. Because niggas don't be smarter than me. If you can do it, I can. You know?
And I was just joking. I make it.
It's cool. I'm going to slide you a 20 after the show.
So no, I make 625.
Then we're going to increase that. That's the game right there.
I can dig it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so to me, in my experience, and like the guys that I know and deal with, that's what they be on. You know what I'm saying? But then they'll meet a strong woman who work hard. Nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to save me and take care of me. They just want me. They just want to put my hard work to work for them. And that's okay if you're gonna put me on the payroll. Because I may just put me on the payroll and put insurance on these niggas too.
And I need to have you. I need to have you on the show one day to talk about that. About in relationships, the roles in relationships. What should a man be doing? What should a woman be doing? Promise me you'll come back.
Of course I will. I'm about to get into it right now. But
Go ahead. Yeah, come back.
I'll come back.
You're gonna come back.
You know But yeah, to me, that's what a bum bitch is. Okay. You know, and that's where men go wrong. You know, same way women do, because women get a bad rap for choosing bad. You know, men choose bad a lot too.
Yeah. But a lot of that still comes from the relationships that you've seen growing up, that you got accustomed to, and what environment you into. Because sometimes we get caught up in that whole situation, and we think that's normal, that's okay. But sometimes it even took me, I wasn't even raised in certain types of environment, but in order for me to play, because I was so different, I was like, damn, I'm the odd nigga, I'm the lonely nigga?
Yeah, you are.
I was like, God damn. So, in order for me to play, I got in the mud for a while. And come out, I came about more damage than I was when I got the fuck in it.
At least you know that.
Mm-hmm.
At least you know that. And I don't know how old you are and how old you were when you learned that lesson, but at least you know that. I have a nephew who's like 21 this year, and he was telling me how much adulting sucks. And I said, well, Marcus, what you gotta understand, and he was like, well, I know people always have worse than me. I was like, no, fuck that. Auntie don't do bullshit conceptual speeches, pep talks. I don't do that. What you need to know is this motherfucker's 2 times your age, 3 times your age, 4 times your age, still out here fucked up. Still out here raggedy, still out here, and by raggedy I mean up here. You know what I'm saying?
And emotionally.
And emotionally. Very much emotionally. So I know for a fact that being self-aware and self-reflective will change the game. Because once you take accountability for your own life and the decisions you've made and the places it's gotten you, it's power in accountability. Because if you can say, hey, well, I fucked up and that's why I'm here, you can say, well, this is what I'm going to do next. Because you know you have the power to orchestrate to engineer the life that you want.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm a firm believer in that. You know, whenever I meet somebody and they're annoying, I'm very easily annoyed. When people annoy me, I know it's because I see something in myself. And it makes me look at myself the way other people see me. You know, and sometimes it's not comfortable. It's not pretty.
Absolutely.
You know, but that's part of growing. That's why they're called growing pains.
Yeah, and we have to start being comfortable with our shortcomings. So I have a coach. Shout out to Monique Sample.
What's up, Monique? What's up?
If you're looking for a coach,
What's
Monique
up?
is the one for you. But, you know, as I sit and I talk to Monique, and you know, I've gotten a lot from her because at first I didn't even think about a coach. But you have to start looking at your shortcomings. You have to start getting comfortable with those. And when I say comfortable to the point that, okay, I realize that I do this or I do that. But now I have to figure out, how do I move past it? How do I improve it? How do I become a better me? And just like you said, when you look at things like that, that self-awareness, then the things you start to do, well, the things that you do start to change. You
know, that's a very important word, change. I think that we put too much emphasis on changing ourselves. I'm not old, but I'm not young. I'm about 40. I am who I am. I'm still learning who I am, you know, but at the same time, I am who I am. It's some shit I'm always going to do. It's some shit I ain't never going to do. But when it comes to the bullshit I do, even if I never change it, I can be aware and say, well, you know what, that's some bullshit. Get off that bullshit.
Exactly.
I'm a very sensitive person. Anybody who's close to me knows I'm very sensitive. I'm very emotional. I have to get second opinions. My sister next to me, I trust her to tell me when I'm bugging. I will call her, am I bugging? Should I be upset? So, and 9 times out of 10, bitch, you bugging. You know? Because I'm not the person that's going to stop bugging, but I can at least check and see if I'm bugging. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I was going to say something to that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It'll come back.
Because the show is about you. The show is about you. The show is about you.
Well, thank you very much.
Speaking of you, real quick, check out You on Netflix. That show is
I keep hearing about it.
Check out.
Did you see
check
the
out
interview? He did an interview with Gina Rodriguez. You know who Gina Rodriguez is?
Don't.
She's the girl who plays on Jane the Virgin. Never watched that show.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But apparently she interviewed him, and she was saying something about the show being about love. And he said, actually, it's about how far we're willing to go to forgive an evil white man. And she was like, okay, next question. And so she came under some heat because there was an opportunity to, like, he was trying to have a race, discussion about it. And as a person of color, which I have a problem with that term, like, I'm black, bitch. Don't POC me. For real. Ain't no silky hair bitch from El Salvador got the same issues I got. Okay, it's different. Okay, but she missed an opportunity to have a very, real conversation about race. And he managed to bring the conversation back, during the course of the interview. So Penn Bagley is I hate these imaginary cookout invites, but he got one from Black Twitter for that. So
yeah, but that's a really, really good show. But anyway, back to what we were saying about self-awareness and things like that. But as I've grown, because I'm 48, this is my 49 year.
Oh, cool.
But as I've grown, I start to see things about myself. And yes, I want to change them. You know, I don't want to say change. I want to say improve. I want to improve in certain areas. But again, we kind of touched on this earlier in the show. What I hate is for a motherfucker to come to me and say, you know what, Liz, you do this, or you do that, or you're like this, or you're like that. And then I have to stop and say, am I? No, and not even am I. Because there's some things I recognize about Liz. I can say that. But I need you to focus on the shit that you do and the shit that ain't right about you. Because while you're saying all this stuff about me, bitch, sometimes you trigger that from the bullshit that you do.
Wow. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Because nothing stands alone. I'm a firm believer in cause and effect. You know, it's just like with raising kids. I was having a conversation with somebody, and you know, we all think we're saving our kids from the trauma we went through, right?
It never happens.
It doesn't, because all you're doing is creating something different. Like, okay, I was always treated as an adult, as a child. I've always been very mature. I've always been very capable. My father put a lot of responsibility on us. He wanted us to be tough. He wanted us to be worldly. Huh?
I said we're seeing a lot of
We are seeing a lot of my dad. Shout out to my dad. He's at my house right the fuck now.
Waiting on you.
Right the fuck now, okay?
Where
holding my fire stick, okay? So, you know, I remember being 10 years old and we having a dentist appointment and getting on the bus and taking my siblings to the dentist, and the dentist explaining, as like I was the mama, you know. Well, I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
My brother's older, but I'm the oldest girl, so I was like the mom of the house. My mother always worked a lot and stuff like that. So I'm very sensitive to that. I hate seeing kids raising kids. Now, granted, I don't feel like I raised my siblings. I had two parents, and they were great parents, you know. But I had too much responsibility put on me, like many black households do to their kids. So that made me, when I raised my own kids, I didn't want to do that to them.
Right.
But then I created a situation where they think everybody gives a fuck like mommy does. And that's just not true. So my oldest daughter had a job in a call center. It fucking sucked. It's a bunch of young people. Everybody fucking and fighting. You know, everybody showing up with tube top body dresses and shit. Real ratchet, okay? So just a ratchet place to be. And
what place is this? So my daughter doesn't apply.
Blah blah blah. I'll send you the link. But my point was that you know, she had just come home from college. She went to school. You know, she graduated high school with a cosmetology license. She went to school. She was like, I feel like I'm wasting my time and going into debt here. So she came home and started working. Now she's questioning that. It's hard at that age, trying to, you know, figure it out and everything. And it got to a place where, you know, she was just having a rough day at work. She's like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And she put in some time, and she came home, get her head together. And I explained to her, you know, you was in school, if you having a real bad day and shit is just fucked up and you call me, I'm going to come get you. Because I value your mental health. We're going to talk it out and let you decompress, you know, because I'd rather do that than get a call than my child in Columbine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's me, you know. You can't expect everybody to give a fuck about your mental state. Because nobody does.
They don't.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue I created in my children by trying to save them from another issue. So we have to understand that none of us get it right. Whether it's parenting, relationships, all we can do is love our loved ones enough to try.
And you know, damn, that's a motherfucking amazing ass point, because I just remember sometimes you got people looking from the outside. I never mind the critique of somebody telling me like, yo, you went in, son, or you did this, like, oh, that was awful. Like, you shouldn't have did your son or your daughter like that. You shouldn't have talked to them like that. Or you shouldn't have X, Y, and Z. And like Les said earlier, but I was just like, yo, nigga, you did the same thing like yesterday. Like, how you gonna tell me? But I said, I get it. I need to look, because people from the outside looking in know and see something different. But when you're immersed in the mess, and who you know as your child and your children, they don't necessarily know that. They see what they see, and people don't always act and do the same shit when somebody else is there.
Not just that, people project their bullshit.
Right, that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had people, I think I probably have a reputation for being kind of a loosey-goosey parent. I have 3 teenage daughters. 2 of my daughters got tattoos. I got tattoos. You know what I'm saying? their boyfriends can come to the house. I want to know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and I'm sorry to cut you off, but that young man has to know that the parent is present.
Definitely.
The parent is aware.
Definitely.
Okay, nigga, I know who you are.
Definitely.
I see who you are. Give me his license plate.
And I run all this.
Right.
I run all this.
Exactly.
So
I understand that the parents are involved.
Thank you.
Because Bree, real quick, because Bree still does the, hey, can he come over, this, that, and the other. And Bree's, you know.
How old is she, you remind me?
Bree is 20. So she's off at college most of the time. But when she's on, hey, can so-and-so come over? Hey, I'm going to take you over to my dad's house. He's going to meet my dad. Which is great. So I'm glad that we've instilled that in her and we've made her comfortable enough to feel like I can bring this person. I want to introduce you to this person because that's important. And like I said, these young guys need to see that the parent is present.
And your children need to know that you're present. Because living in the same house don't mean present.
Right.
You know what I mean? Disconnected as fuck. People be we as parents, I'm not trying to like, you know, come down on everybody. We as parents,
go ahead, Janet.
Be so.
Yes, Janet.
Control. We be so busy patting ourselves on the back for our parenting skills that we don't see our failures. And even worse, we don't let our children show us our failures because Black people are so obsessed with the idea of respect, the concept of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like the greatest. My youngest daughter's 15. Cuss like a fucking sailor. She never curses in front of me, but I know she curses. Okay. The greatest level of respect my child who curses all the time can show me is if she don't think I'm home when I walk the door, she say a cuss word, the fear that washes over her face. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people get the wrong idea that, you know, if you're close to your kids, if you're friends with your kids, it means that there's a lack of respect. It means there's a lack of decorum. None of that is true.
No lies, no barriers.
No, because the greatest respect my kids can give me is the truth. And it's terrifying sometimes because I had to realize the hard way, my kids really do believe everything I say. They really do think I know what I'm doing. I don't. Okay, I have no idea. I'm figuring it out. I just love y'all. We gonna grow together. You know. But that's the greatest respect they can show me is that I know what's going on in their lives. That they trust me when there is an issue. When they come to me.
But that's why there's so much shit going on in the world today, is because a lot of our children, our nephews, nieces, friends, and whoever else is out there, and that's why I still mentor and do different things, because you have to have that trust. If you don't trust talk to your parents or somebody, go to your grandparents or somebody that you can talk to, because, and not somebody who has a biased opinion all the damn time, but somebody who won't give you something. I'd rather have a no person in my life. Like, I mean, if we was close, like, I don't necessarily be like, yes, Les, or this Les, you know, because I know it's not right. It's not. If I know that something is wrong, I'm gonna tell her that. If she see me, I'm doing some shit, she'll be like, Mr. Allen,
tighten up. Tighten on up.
And that's the same that we have to do with our kids. It's not necessarily, man, fuck that friendship shit. Like, we can do shit all day and everything, but even to this day, my adult kids, they know what they can and cannot do around me, because not only are they gonna get a piece of my mind, but I might even choke the shit. I might grab their ass up.
It can happen.
Be like, yo, you know,
yeah.
But I try not to go there as much, only as if it's necessary. But again, that trust level, we must have that between our kids. If it's not there, we can't communicate, we can't talk.
You can do what
it's a dead issue.
Two things.
Dead.
I hate when Black people, and I'm picking on us, I hate when Black people be like, well, I ain't your little friend. I ain't gonna be friends with you. Why? The friends know what's going on. Why would not want to be my daughter's friend? If she had a good day, had a bad day, you know, it means everything that they come talk to me. You know what I mean? The second thing is, you never want your kids to figure out you a liar. Because then there be nothing you can do with them. They already think you're stupid. They already think you don't know nothing. They think that they don't. I thought my mama got all this all from Walmart. I didn't think my mama had ever seen a dick. You know what I'm talking about? I thought she got us all off the shelf, the store. Well, her mom was a good Christian woman. You know, I didn't think she knew nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? But if you try to have this image of yourself as I'm the authority figure, I'm perfect, I'm infallible. When your kids figure out that's not true, because you're just human and your kids see you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be shit you can do with them. For real. I wholeheartedly believe that. I have seen it. And as much as, you know, I have doubts. You know, the thing about having kids is it takes so long to see the results of the decisions that you make. You know, when they get grown and see how they're going to turn out and stuff. It takes so long to get to that point. So you spend a lot of years in limbo wondering if you're doing the right thing or not. You know, but I get lots of moments that show me that I am doing the right thing, you know, by being open and honest with my kids.
Yeah, but I think the important thing is being the parent first. Let the friendship come, but be the parent first. With both of my children, I'll try to make it so that you can come and talk to me about anything. If something's going on, come and talk to me. Drayshawn is my oldest. He's a more quiet, laid back one. So when Drayshawn went through school, it wasn't a lot of issues. And here comes that girl, Brie. And, you know, dealing with the friends who were doing this and doing that. And, you know, it took some talking and some verbal reprimand and some other reprimands. But it's, hey, understand, me and your dad, I want to be here for you.
Right.
If something's going on, you need to come and call me. You know, and then just like you said, when you start seeing the results of what you're putting into your child, I can remember Bree was in high school and she had one friend, this girl just was wilding. And so Bree's at the girl's house and I had always said to her, I said, Bree, she had gotten in trouble before. I said, Bree, if something ain't right, pick up that phone.
Ain't nobody coming faster than
me. Or you call your daddy, come and get me. And she did. So again, it's having that relationship, it's making them feel comfortable. But even if they don't feel comfortable, and one of y'all said it earlier, make sure you tell them, go talk to your grandma. My son probably talks to my mother more than he talks to me. He talks to me, but probably more to my mom. But have that person that you can talk to and you can tell things to, where you're not out here on your own, you're not listening to what your friends are saying. And to touch on something else you said, oh, it's 8:17. Touch on something else you said, was that being able to admit as a parent that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Bree will call me out on shit in a minute. You know what, Mom? She don't call me.
And if you down that hill, and if you insist on, well, I'm the boss applesauce, that's where you lose your kid.
Yeah, and she's done that. She said, you know what? You was wrong on that one. You did do X, Y, and Z. And so we had those conversations like, well, you know what, Bree? You know what? I apologize. And you got to be able to be at that point where you can apologize to your children, because regardless of whether they're children or not, if you've done wrong, and you need to accept that. You need to be responsible. You need to be accountable for your actions, and you need to tell your children that, yeah, I was wrong. I need to do better.
So they can trust you.
That. Right.
You know what it is?
And they can see that you're human.
That you're human. That's right.
Right.
Another powerful thing I say to my kids is, I don't know. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, and we will figure it out together. Another thing that I think that carries a lot of weight is that, you know, I say yes so much that when I say no, my no, they, you know, it amazes me. You know, my oldest child is 19, and she still calls, Mom, can I go to? And I tell her, you know, you're an adult. I appreciate you letting me know how you move, you know what I do, but you don't have to act. But she has that respect for me. So she had met this little guy. You know, her first boyfriend she had when she went to college. I ain't like that little nigga, little glow in the dark ass glowworm. I ain't no good, little glowworm ass, like a bright ass little nigga. You know what I'm saying? I knew he ain't made my daughter no good because he was a punk. You know what I'm saying? Any man that don't want to, you know, look me in my eyes and face me, you ain't got no good intentions for my daughter, right? But I had to let her see it. Because if I tell her, you know, right? And furthermore, I've always tried to show them that the fun is at home. Your friends got to go in the street to have fun. You get to have fun at home, right? So that's why I let them have company. I always got a house full of other people's kids. It's annoying. You ever try to take a shit in the house full of teenagers? You know what I'm saying? It's annoying as fuck, right? I pay the bills here, and these greens is moving, okay? But, you know, as annoying as it is, I love that they all, you know, want to gather at my house, right? So the thing is, I say yes so much that my no means a lot. So I let her go through her thing with the little guy. She saw, after a while that it won't hit no shit, and she ain't fooling with him no more. Then she met this other little guy who was about to chop my baby into bits. He's super obsessive. Texting her. First time she gave him her phone number, he texted her back to back. Why you ain't answering me? Why you ignoring me? I'm like, well, you need to drop
that shit.
I very rarely say, but when I do, it means something. You know, so you have to establish that I don't want to just ruin your fun.
Right.
Because that is easy to come across that way. I don't want to ruin your fun. I want you to have a great time. When I was her age, I had her. You know what I'm saying? So I just want her to be a young lady. I want her to have these experiences, because what's going to happen is she going to come back and say, well, my mama was right.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because me and Bree had a conversation the other night, and just some things that I wasn't quite feeling, and I'm saying, well, Bree, it's XYZ and blah, 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 and she's like, well, you're always being negative. I said, you know what?
I'm going to let you have it.
I'm going to let you have that. And my question to you, and you, because everybody here is a parent, do y'all ever, or have you ever gotten to that point where it's like, I just got to fall back, and I got to just...
Look like right nigga.
Look
like right nigga.
I have and I always will. I guess even with me mentoring, I learned so much more. Like my kids taught me some shit. But when you're mentoring adults and you're mentoring teenagers or children, I learned so much more. One thing that I learned that you can't do, I know you mentioned something about, I will even if I know something, I'll let them bring it up first. Then we can talk about it. Because if I interject or say something, they're thinking either somebody told you, you in their business, so therefore stuff automatically shuts down, wall go up. So I allow them to speak and talk, and then I'll interject to come in with my information, my knowledge, to help try to secure or get them to start thinking about some other things outside of what they may be doing or participating in or doing whatever. It works out so much better, and then you bond your relationship.
Well, thank you for being a mentor, first of all. That's very important work, and I know it's important for a fact, because kids need to know that people care when there's nothing wrong. And they always got adults in their face when they fuck up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you just making a connection with this child on the strength of I want to connect with you, I think that goes a lot further. Everybody always want to give you a good word when you're in trouble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or everybody want to praise you when you're doing well. And
but
some people back up off you when something happened, and I need your help the most now because I ain't never been there. Like the child who, like I ain't been there before. Like, oh my God, I did this. I know I'm in trouble. Like, oh my God. Still support them in that moment.
Yeah,
definitely. They need it
more than any other time.
And damn, as adults, sometimes we'll be out there swimming.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I was like, I would try to be available, make myself available in these situations, just to help. Like tread water for a while. We're gonna guide back the lane. Come on, you know. But Les, I did tell you at some point, and some situations happen after the fact. Where God was like, I'm not ready for you to quit. You're not quitting, and you're gonna do this work. And I had to embrace it. And I was like, wow, I need to do this. So I just wanted to say that. And thank you for being who you are.
Well,
and as a parent and whatever else, that's amazing. Because some of the concepts you had, people have told me, like, oh boy, Chris, you done plugged up. but I feel like I would rather have my friends have like my mentality was if my son had company or my daughters wanted to have company. Now come to my house where I can see, where I can observe. I'm gonna keep an eye on these folk. I know who can come in, who can come out, or who ain't coming back. So whatever you do out there is what you gonna do out there. But when you get here, you know we gonna handle that while I see.
Definitely.
I went to Eleanor said.
Eleanor said that. She says, I'm my daughter's best friend, but she respects me as her mom.
That's right.
And knows there are boundaries she doesn't cross.
That's right.
Damn. That's beautiful.
All right, so here it is, day 25. I don't know about anybody else, but I get up at 4 in the morning to get to my job for something. So here's what we're going to do. I am so glad that you came on, that you were our first guest of the year, our first female entrepreneur. I hope
y'all hit it with me.
Wait a minute, what's the little thing that, what did you say?
What that,
No.
What did I say last time?
I'm that bum. What did you say?
Oh, bum bitches. What's up with bum bitches do?
She brought it up and brought it down.
Yeah, take it to the floor and bring it on back around the world, you know what I'm saying?
You're so funny. I hope that you're going to come back on the show
Anytime.
and share some different things with her, because you have so much. And what's so funny is when you said, and I hate it when people say that I'm articulate, because in my mind throughout the show was like, wow, she's so intelligent.
Okay, what I meant was white people.
She's so articulate.
I meant white people. You can say
her.
it.
I love intelligence. I love intelligence. So like I said, I hope this is not the last time you're going to be on the show. We love having other people on the show, bring a different perspective. Again, especially when somebody can share so much information and make us laugh, and I enjoy having you here.
Because we're going to laugh all the time.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. This is the point where we share our final thoughts before we give out some other information. We're going to let you share on that as well. So, because you're the guest, and after this you won't be a guest, share your final thoughts for tonight. Anything you want to share.
Okay, I'm gonna get personal and I'm gonna try not to get emotional, right?
It's
all right. Thank you. I feel safe. It's a safe place.
It is.
Okay, so I have a very rocky history with my father, mostly because we're the exact same person, so we've always butted heads, right?
Hashtag me too.
Right. And my father also had some addiction issues, while I was growing up, and that created some issues for me. He was recently found to have 5 tumors. And the irony is, he came to stay with me because I'm closest to the hospital and, what have you. So, I had some experiences in the last couple months. I'm not going to get all into my crystal stuff and my hoodoo I be into. But my father and I have been able to mend fences. Before we found out he was ill. So that's a beautiful thing. But in hindsight, now I know that's why. Now I know that's why we're able to, jail and everything the way that we have. And yesterday I dropped him off in the morning and I didn't see him anymore. So I got home from work and I'm like, I called my siblings and nobody had heard from him. So I'm panicking. I'm thinking he didn't drop dead in a ditch somewhere. I got to find him all balled up like a belly up brooch or some shit. I don't know what's going on. And I was really upset. Now, granted, I thought that it was enough that I brought him into my home, that I'm being gracious, that I'm making sure he has some dignity and some care, at the end of his life. I thought that was enough, that he understood, you know what I mean? But I would never say the words. I would never, and that's not even a spiteful thing. I wasn't capable of, saying what these actions illustrate. That I do love him, that everything wasn't his fault, that I wish it could have been better. I do have regrets. I couldn't force myself to say those things. But when I woke up this morning, all my siblings confirmed they hadn't heard from him either. Nobody knew where he was, and I'm like, shit. What if I might not ever, and it was just such a weight on me. Even though when I dropped him off yesterday, the last thing he said to me was, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too," I just couldn't fathom the idea that I wasn't going to see him anymore. And then I realized that it wasn't enough that I brought him into my home and that I'm, looking out for him. It wasn't enough, People, just like with any other relationship, people need to know how you feel. So I'm saying all that to you all tonight to say that my dad's not dead. He totally surfaced around, 3 o'clock this afternoon. He had another appointment at the VA. They kept him overnight, put him in a room with no phone. Nobody could reach him. We just didn't know what had happened to him. But when he walked into my house today, I burst into tears and I told my dad I loved him. I don't know the last time I told him I loved him voluntarily. You know what I mean? So what I want to say to everybody tonight is to say what you need to say to your loved ones, especially if you've been waffly on if they loved ones or not. You know what I mean? Because it became very real. I made a Facebook post about my dad. You know, I asked people to, comment, give him a little love because my dad's very well loved and well known in this city. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And while people were commenting, I still hadn't heard from him. Mm-hmm. And all I could think was, I hope I get to show him this. Mm-hmm. You might not get to do it, yo. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We always say tomorrow's not promised. The next 5 minutes ain't promised. Mm-hmm. Say what you need to say. Let your loved ones know you love them. Let people you forgive know you forgive them. Let people you apologize to know you sorry. It's important. Mm-hmm. So that's my final thought for tonight.
You know what? Applebee.
Yes, sir.
You just woke something up in me. There was something that happened at work. It was on me, but I suppressed it, and I said, you know what? It's not really worth it to say. I'm gonna let it go. I gotta back it up now. Mm-hmm. Even if I gotta work with you, I want you to understand and know how important they are to me as my work family. Because we work intimately together.
Right.
Projects, whatever that is. I can't let this go and they think what they did was okay. Mm-hmm. So, and me being who I am, the only reason why I let it go, because once I go in,
I don't do nothing a little bit.
Or the rain start falling, it's going to be torrential, tsunami. Mm-hmm. And at that time where I was feeling, I said, it ain't the right time to speak to them about this, but I want to speak to them. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, at a more composed hour, pull them aside and talk to them and let them know what they did, because they might not have understood or know, because everybody comes from a different background. Some people are selfish, some people are self-centered, and some people might not even. Some people grew up in an atmosphere where people allowed them to do what they do.
Right.
And they think what they is gold and is right. But I have to let them know that it's not. So, with that being said, what's your opinion at a more composed hour, Liz?
New year, new things, and normally when we do, we gotta hurry up and close this out because it's low battery. Okay. But real quick, normally, like I said, new year, new things. Normally, when we do our final thoughts, we reference it about the things that we talked about on the show. But you just added a different dynamic where it took a whole different spin. But I just want to add something to that, because my father, for years, my father would call me in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Now I don't want to get emotional. But my father would call me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I would get up and go, damn, I don't feel like answering the phone. Daddy, what do you want this time of morning? And so, of course I would pick up the phone, I would talk to my father, and he would say all kind of crazy things, and after a certain point in my father's life, he started to deal with dementia. And so when I would go home, and most people know I'm from New Jersey, so when I go home and I see my father, sometimes it's so hard to be there with him. Like the first couple of times when he didn't know who I was, oh my God, it hurt me. It just hurt me to my soul that he didn't know who I was. And sometimes my children would go with me, and it would be so hard to be in there to see him in a place that I had never seen him before, or to see him not really knowing who I was. And so that just hurt me. And I would have to try to be strong and not cry so that he didn't see that. So he didn't ask, well, what's wrong or what's going on? And so real quick, because we got some other things we want to say real quick. I just said that to say, appreciate your parents, the people around you while they are here. And so I had to tell Bree this the other day. She said something about her father calling early in the morning. I said, Bree, you take that call and you talk to your father. Talk to him. Because now I can't pick up the phone and call my father. I don't have that 6 o'clock morning, hey, what you doing? I don't have that call in the morning, anymore. And so when I go home and I see my father, it's just so, I don't know if he's going to know who I am today, if he's going to look at me like I'm a stranger. And I don't go home all the time. And so then when I do go home and I'm there, it's like, what's going to happen today? And I have to reflect back on all of the times that I had with my father. But nothing sticks out in my mind the most is when I said, damn, it's 6 o'clock. Daddy, why are you calling me so early? Whereas now I do anything to have those 6 o'clock calls where my father would call me before I go to work, or he's up in the morning and he's calling me. So just to go back to what you said, and probably throughout the show, I think we probably said it a few times, appreciate people while they're here. Make those connections. Have those phone calls. Love those people while they're here. And I read something on Facebook and it said, people will travel all across the globe to come to your funeral, but won't walk across the street to come and see you. Right. But anyway, that's all about relationships. So anywho, we're going to move on real quick. So, we did our final thoughts. So, you want to do the next week's show?
All right. So, ladies, next week, we're going to have our ladies defense specialist. Her name is Tara Clark. And she's going to be with us, giving us, talking about her business, Damsel in Distress. 7 p.m.
Defense.
Damsel in Defense. I'm sorry.
A little bit different.
Get that right, bro. So she's going to be on next week's show, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, EDP 365. That ADP 365 on Facebook Live.
All right, so look out for the video because what we're going to do is Tara and I are going to do a video, and she's going to share some information so that you can start ordering products. She's going to give you, I believe she's going to give you a special code. I don't know if Tara's still looking, but she's going to give you a code that's going to coincide with EDP 365. So be looking for that after. Are you going to that event on Saturday?
This Saturday?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know where event you.
Okay. So be looking out for that video. Don't forget potion number 2, my creation, spray and go so no one knows, everyone poops, no one likes to smell it. Yeah. And so you can still get a bottle. And people have been asking me for the larger bottles. I don't have the larger bottles, I only have the smaller bottles. $3 for a 15 milliliter bottle. Blinged Out Parties. Thank you to everyone who purchased a ticket for my Blinged Out Party on January the 25th. I am sold out. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. But if you want to have your own Blinged Out Party, get in touch with me, 804-424-0337. Again, that's 804-424-0337 for your own Blinged Out Party. Excuse me. And Blinged Out Party, it's just blinging. You're creating your Blinged Out t-shirt similar to a paint party. So, all right, moving on. What else we got?
You know,
all right. What? What the hell was that?
Allergies?
I got allergies. This is something out. Friday, I was going to buy my ticket Friday.
Oh,
she's sold out.
Yep, sold out. Sorry. You can host your own, though. All right, so here we go. There's always room for more. Join EDP 365 Facebook Live. Join Me Connect Promote. Me Connect Promote, if you're a brand builder, business owners, entrepreneur, post all your information there. I don't have a lot of restrictions. ADAC, Authors and Co-op, you can post your information there if you're an author. Post events coming up. Post information. Post tips. All those great things for authors. Richmond Events and Vendors. That's my latest group. Go to that group. Post events that are coming out. A lot of people want to know about vending events coming up, and I'm going to tell y'all about my vending event that's coming up. All right, Gino is my Girls Night Out group. We are always looking for something new to do. So you can go to Gino, post in that group, post events, post pictures, post events that are coming up that women can be a part of. As always, we talk about topics. If you have topics that you want us to talk about, reach out to me or Chris. We'd love to have you on the show. Vending with Friends. This is my latest event. This is my event for 2020. Vending with Friends is coming up on May the 16th here in Richmond, Virginia. If you want more information about the event, you can call me again, 804-424-0337, or you can email me at lescover2cover, that's les, C-O-V-E-R, the number 2, cover at AOL.com, and that just shows how long I've had my email address. And I'm not changing it. And so you can email me and I will send you the flyer that gives you all the information about the vending event that I'm having. And this is going to be great. It's something different. I'm putting a different twist on having an event. So reach out to me if you're a vendor and you're looking for somewhere to be a vendor at this year. All right, real quick. All right, so I'm proud to say I'm going to be a speaker at the Women Walk in Your Freedom, an intensive healthy retreat. I should know what this is. Right now, it's $20 off the ticket price. Early tickets, you can go to Walk in Your Faith. This is going to be a great event that's coming up again. I'm so excited to be a speaker.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Connie Ford, our sex expert to the show. She's going to be there as well as a speaker. Miss Charisma Thomas, who is hosting the event. Miss Glennis Hughes is going to be there as a speaker as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's just going to be a time for women to come together, retreat.
Relax, relate, release.
And one more time, girl. One more time.
Relax, relate, release.
All right. Don't forget about Real Women of
That's
RVA.
real shit.
The executive producer, Miss Kimberlane Johnson, aka Blunt.
Hey.
I am a cast member of that, and so go to YouTube and check out the trailer. And this is my last thing because we've done a lot. It's 8:40. I got to go home and go to bed. All right. Don't forget to celebrate your victories, both large or small. And I just want to say this real quick, y'all. God has been blessing me, y'all. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work if you got something that you want God to bless. He cannot bless you if all you're doing is thinking about it. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to ask for direction, but you got to take the steps. He cannot bless you if you're just sitting at home. When you, and I know this to be true, God is opening so many, and I just got to say this, y'all. He is opening so many doors, so many blessings, and His preparation. 2019, y'all, I've been working. I've been doing things. I've been preparing for 2020, and we are only 7 days into the new year. And y'all, I am seeing so many great things happening, so many doors opening, so many projects, having new people on the show, building new connections, just building new relationships. I'm just so blessed. My brand is blessed. Legs cover to cover. So many new things coming. My friend Chris, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a picture of me and Chris, y'all. This man is so amazing. Wow, for years, me and Chris been together. Me and Chris started helping somebody else out, and it's years later, and we still going strong, supporting each other and what we do. And I am so grateful for my friendship with Chris, for this relationship. I am so thankful and so grateful. So look out for all the big things that we are coming on. We are on other people's projects. We're doing our own projects. Also, this is my last thing, and then I'm gonna close out and give it over to Chris to close out for the night. EBO, entrepreneurs and business owners. If you are not part of this group, you are missing something dynamic.
Special.
We are bringing something great to Richmond. I hate to say bringing something great to Richmond, but we are.
That shit.
But we are bringing something dynamic. This has been in the work for the last year. This is an organization where entrepreneurs, brand builders, and business owners can come together and help each other to grow, enhance what we're doing. But we are also adding something dynamic where we're finding ways to be able to continue to grow, increase our income. Again, I'm looking forward to all that we're doing with EBO. We have our first official, because we've been meeting for the last year, but we have our first official meet with our team members on November the nothing. January the 18th. Yeah, if you are looking to grow with a small, intimate group that's going to help you to grow as an entrepreneur or brand builder or business owner, you can reach out to either one of us. Again, we're having a meeting on the 18th, and it's really only for serious people who want to be a part of a dynamic group. Again, it's going to be something intimate because we're doing big things with EBO, and we can't have a flood of people to take part of this because of the things that we're doing that's getting ready to happen with this group. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So, again, if you are interested, give Les and myself a shout. Get me at 804-464-8479. You hit me with a text. At some point in there, put EBO interest, and we'll shoot you an email, shoot you something with the information in it, as long as you come prepared. And
you're serious.
And you're serious. That's the most important thing. If you're not serious,
kick rocks.
don't apply. But I definitely want to say I want to give a shout out to all the January babies. I'm a January baby, so I'm gonna give a shout out to all the Aquarius and Capricorns and I do want to say that. Number two, I want to say sorry to announce that the February Black History event, which included poetry and some singing, some different talents, it was going to be hosted and brought forth by Kimberly Johnson. That has been postponed. I'm not going to say canceled. It just has been postponed at this time. So I think everybody involved in that, we have worked very hard at putting together different things for this event. And I was going to put something out in regards to, I was given a task by Ms. Johnson, and it was a poem that I had in regards to the Black Panthers. So that's not going to be happening at this point in time, but I am going to be presenting that poem at some of the poetry events in the area. Very strong, powerful poem.
If I may, Kimberly Johnson, I was a part of that Black History program too.
Okay.
She's agreed to come on my podcast and do like Black History facts, each week during February.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come. You're welcome to come to your
Wow,
Cool.
that's wonderful.
That's networking and
Yeah.
collaborating. That's what I'm talking about.
You see how that worked out? What were you doing?
That was Lord. All in the midst.
In the midst.
That's right.
I want to give a shout out to Clinton Dukes Jr. He is an author, he is a speaker, and he is also a mentor. He's coming out with his new book in February called Stay Out of Egypt. And I am going to have him on the March Month of Men on EDP as well to promote and market the book and let him tell you a little bit more about himself in the book. I don't have the information here, but I know tomorrow on the 8th, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., meeting Mr. Right. Why can't women meet Mr. Right? We're going to have an extension to that. It's tomorrow night. As soon as I get the rest of the information, I'm going to post it on the EDP 365 page and also wherever else I can post it. So you guys and girls can come out and we can talk about issues with dating or any other thing in regards to that and how we treat, how we interact with each other. Let me see what else I got here. Oh, I do want to give a shout out to my friend. Her name is Manuka Smith. She's in Baltimore, Maryland. She's a speaker, she's an author, and she'll be releasing her biography and her project Sunday, January 12th. So I just want to give a shout out in regards to that. I'm going to get more information I'll post in regards to that. So go get the book. Another shout out, Transformation RVA, the men's huddle. I want to give a shout out to Algernon Wills and Mr. Scales on, just being there, doing what you're doing in the community for those, men who are hurt, they're lost, and providing that space and that atmosphere for healing, growth, and for the betterment of us all. Again, Les, you always say, don't forget to celebrate your victories, large or small. And again, we greatly appreciate that. So with that being said, if anybody would like to say anything before we turn out?
Follow me on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
On Facebook, I use my government name. It's Aisha Shabazz. AISHA Shabazz. I put it in the comments on this video.
All right. Love y'all. Next week, 7 p.m. Peace.
Be great.